Hey guys, in this episode, I'm going to talk about what it takes to be a next generation chef and what is a next generation chef and why it matters to you. So, something about me is I've trained about 18,000 chefs since 2001. 2,000 of my chef alumni are now executive chefs all around the world, and I have served, consulted for, and coached for about 300 food businesses and collaborated with many hotels and big brands over the last decades. So I see the patterns very clearly. I would say that I don't know any other teacher that's built more schools and taught more students than me. So the patterns that I see are extremely clear. And to this day, I still teach. These are my students, these are their works. And it's very different. So, what's the big deal? The big deal is that these days, based on my data, there is about 80 new graduates every year for every one job in Metro Manila. In Metro Manila, that means entry level work is crowded. And since I'm trusted by the parents of my students, grown men, women, children, teens, male teens, and female teens, it is my job to give them a set of skills that they can flourish with in the future. And lately, we have transitioned from cooking school, meaning to say teaching you how to cook, because being a cook in the Philippines, you earn 695 pesos a day. And majority of my students, they find that completely unacceptable because 80% of my students are in it to build businesses and brands. So this is how the next generation chef has changed. Back in the day, I would say when I started out my career as a culinary professional, the salaries were not great, but the ascension was very fast because there weren't many cooks. These days, there are so many cooks. Like I said, there's 80 graduates almost for every one single job in Metro Manila. So that's very troublesome. But then why is food growing? And what do you mean is food really growing? If you check out the stats like Statista and Mordor Intelligence, these are studies and stats made by financial firms. Food industry is set to double from 1 trillion dollars to I think 2 trillion dollars by 2031. So that means the food industry is growing. Ang tanong is, bakit yung mga sweldo hindi, 'di ba? Bakit yung mga opportunity hindi? So you have so many people that go to culinary school, they spend an arm and a leg. You go to expensive culinary school, that's $1 million a month. Then after that, you have zero ROI capability. Kawawa naman your parents. You're totally letting your parents' investments down. So if you don't have a plan that you can earn back your 1 million peso a year tuition, dude, you have a terrible value proposition for yourself and for your career. There has to be a clear strategy. And earning minimum wage for years on end with slow ascension is not the way to do that. So I made this series because I, like many of my students that you see here, most of them believe that the future is in building brands and products and the occasional service, which we'll get onto in future episodes. But for us, based on what we discuss almost every time, every day we cook restaurant quality food like this. This is cooked by my class. I think they're about 10 sessions in. But look, they're making really good bistro cuisine already. And I love them for it. They're awesome. But we also talk about how to grow careers in business on the daily, every single day. These kids, they understand net present value, they understand lifetime value, they understand the economics law of diminishing returns, how it applies to casual, QSR, or fine dining. They understand now the pitfalls and the different models of the careers that they choose. And I truly believe, just like them, is that the future lies in products and services and brands. It doesn't lie so much on employment, because when you're employed, it's a good starting point, but you have low leverage work. You have no say in your compensation. You have no say on your schedule. You have no say basically on your life. It's good to get started for experience, but it's terrible to stay there for too long. So my job is to create more options for these guys. Employment is the most basic option. All cooking schools offer the employment route. But beyond that, it's really to create their ability to build products and brands that are asset light. Not everyone has the capacity to open a restaurant. Restaurants are too expensive, and the failure rates these days, especially of fine dining, is through the roof. I want to protect them from that. I want to protect them from misaligned ambitions that have no basis in reality. So every class we cook well, we go through the data, we look at case studies of real restaurants, we look at the numbers that's available, and hopefully we can build a future that lasts for life.